help support my channel. I have merch with terrible dinosaur puns on it, and I also have a Patreon where I have giveaways every 4 months. Hey everyone, and today I'm working on a sculpture for the YouTuber Oprah Renly. So he requested I do a Utah taking on a shant, so I'll be using this shant from PNSO and this Rebor Raptor. Sadly, my shant, I'm pretty sure might be a knockoff because it arrived really damaged and the seams were really deep, the legs were broken off. I glued them back on, thankfully, and thankfully I'm not a collector, I'm a customizer, so if this ended up in someone's collection, they probably would have been sad by the just look of this shant. It's not very good quality. But anyway, let's fix those deep gashes or seams. I've really added a lot of water to my 2-part epoxy sculpt, my milliput, and now I'm pushing it into the seam gaps like a putty. I'm smoothing it out with more water, and I'll come in with my dry towel and just rub the excess off and give it some texture using the towel texture. So while I'll do that, I think I'll answer first question of the day. Will I be doing anything other than Isles dinosaurs? Yes, I do plan to, and I do hope to. So far, what I make goes by what people order or what my fans request. If you want to request something other than Isles, head over to my Instagram. Every so often I'll do a vote and see what everyone's voting for. That's what the Hyper Giga was. That was a popular vote. So yeah, so I do hope to do other things, but for now everything seems to be being ordered as Isles or voted for as Isles. That's the seams all done and fixed. It's time to base coat. Now it's all lovely and white and base coated. I'm going to add the Utah now and try to figure out where the claw marks, bite marks and gashes would be. So I'm just using a liner pen here just to figure out where the gashes would make most sense. Now I'm going to come in with my wood carving tool and I'm just going to carve out those gashes. I'm going to be try and be loose and rough with it because gashes aren't really smooth, they're rough. I think I'm just saying the obvious there. But anyway, this is like a V-shaped carving tool. Plastic wasn't too bad to carve actually. It was quite soft. I thought it was going to be very hard. That's the gashes, they look pretty good. Now I'm going to come in with my first colour, which is a pale grey from Ultramat. I'm using my references here just to make sure I get the colours as closely as I can. Well, match them as best as I can. Now I'm coming with the Josonia skin base tone. So this is got more yellowy tones to it. And then I'm going to come in with some Citadel green. My favourite paints to use are Citadel, of course. This green actually had to layer up twice, which is unusual for Citadel. Usually I don't have to layer Citadel paints. They usually take the first coat to be fine. Now I'm coming in with a Josonia Prussian blue. I'm going to be running that along the black and then doing some nice patterns with it. Okay, time for question 2 of the day. What came first, Vegemite or Milo? My best friend and I found this very entertaining. She answered both. They came on a sandwich. That to me sounds very disgusting. Thank you, Silver. Anyway, I went the nerdy route and I googled it. So apparently Vegemite came first, being made in 1922. The more you know. So yes, I'm just continuing on referencing the shant patterns from the Isles. I'm trying to get them as closely matched as I can. Now I'm coming in with some Elder Pablo Black, and I'm just touching up the Prussian blue areas and giving them sort of a two-tone colour effect. Now I'm coming in with some yellow. Just dry brushing it on and then deepening the yellow where I want it to be brighter. Across the head and down the neck and across the back. It really brought this character to life, or dinosaur to life, adding these extra bright colours. Now I'm coming in with some just cheap acrylic red, that's all I had in red, and I'm just brushing it on over some of the yellow parts because that's what the reference called for, and it really brings more life to this creature. The touch of red is really a nice touch. Now I'm coming in with some more Citadel pink and I'm painting the mouth. There wasn't much of a mouth to this guy. Now I'm using that same paint and adding the scars in now. I'll be using a few different colours to paint in these scars. See here I'm coming in with another skin tone and adding a little bit of a fleshy look to it. And that's what we have so far. I'm thinking I need to add some deeper red tones to those scars to deepen them a bit. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm coming in with a darker red from Citadel and just deepening the wounds. Now I'm sort of dry brushing and spreading that deeper red all around to start the blood effects. Don't worry, I'll be coming in with some really cool blood effects later on. I'm just starting them here. Now it's time for a green wash from Citadel. I love my washes. They really bring the creatures to life and bring out all those scales and shadows. Really love my washes. Now I'm coming in with a bacon bond to start the base, and I'm pouring this over my wooden box. This will get my Super Sculpey to adhere to my wooden box. I'm spreading that out. Of course I use Super Sculpey as a clay, and I'm going to run that through a pasta maker to get my thin strips to lay over the box. Now I'm going to blend those thin strips together. And then use a knife to cut off the edge or trim the edges to make them seamless to the box. Now I'm using my shant and I'm pushing him down hard to use the imprints to mark out where the shant will be standing. And I'm coming in with tin foil now to give the base a nice texture. This is my little stamp or signature stamp, and I'm just imprinting my signature in. Now I'm using a ball tool to make some puddles. There's not much I can do to this base because the shant and Utah take up so much of the base, but I'm trying to add as much as I can without taking away from the parts that are supposed to be taking all the attention, the shant and the Utah. And I've also put a little Utah imprint down there in the right bottom corner, if you can see that. Now I'm using my bacon bond to glue down some rocks I've made previously. And then baked it. I'm coming in with some El de Pablo black now and covering the box base completely black. Now to start painting the base, I'm coming in with some different tones of brown, and I'm just going to roughly brush them all over the box in different ways, just being really loose with it, because mud and dirt sort of have, or nature in general, sort of have a chaos to it, if that makes sense at all. So yeah, as you can see, I'm just using a really bristly brush, and I'm just being rough with a whole bunch of different brown tones. And the more loose you are, the more natural and realistic it looks, I find. I'm not really letting the paint layers dry because I want them to kind of blend together as well. Now I've started the dry brushing, and I'm coming in with those same different tones of brown, and I'm dry brushing them in different areas. Don't worry, trust me, it will look good by the end. I'm coming in with a more yellowy brown and still dry brushing. And an even lighter brown now, sort of a grey yellow brown, and dry brushing the most highest points. And still being a little random with it. But you can see how the dirt and earth is starting to look more alive, if that makes sense, bringing it more to life. Now I'm bringing in some really dark browns into the puddles that I'll be adding resin to later. Now I'm coming in with a paper bark grey from Hallcraft, and I'm painting my rocks. Now the grass time. So I'm using Mod Podge as my glue, and I'm using a texture grass that's used in Warhammer. I'm just loosely putting my Mod Podge down, and then I'll be sprinkling that texture grass all over the Mod Podge. I think it's called terrain turf now that I think about it. Now I'm coming in with a brown wash over the rocks and in the puddles as well. This just brings out the shadows of the rocks and makes the puddles look a bit more deeper before I add the resin. Coming in with some gold leaf, liquid gold leaf, and I'm just brushing that over my signature. My own personal touch to my signature. Now I'm doing some coats of Mr. Super Clear, 3 coats to be exact. And now I'm doing 2 layers of liquid hex gloss varnish. Gee, that was a tongue twister. And I'm brushing that over the base of the box. Now these are my little leg stands for the boxes that I add, and I super glue them down. This sort of elevates the box off the surface. And that's Oprah Renly's plaque. I'm just sticking that down. Now the nice part of peeling off that stick. Very happy with that plaque. Now to add the puddles. So I use a UV resin that I set with a UV torch. I'm just adding that to all the puddles. takes about a minute to 3 minutes to set the puddles with my UV torch. Now to start on the Utah, so I'm super gluing all the joints shut to make sure they don't move while I sculpt on them. Now I'm coming in with my 2-part epoxy milliput, and I'm impressing it into those joints to hide the joints away. I'm using different tools to bring back in the texture so you don't notice that I've filled in the joints. Trying my best to match the scales around them. I really love Rebor sculptures. They're so beautifully sculpted. They're really nice to work with. And of course, if you want to purchase any of the materials that I use throughout this video, please look below in my description for my affiliate links. You can see the variety of tools I use just to get these scale effects to work coherently with the rest of the body. Takes a lot of work to match. Now, since the Rebor mouths are so beautifully painted, I'm coming in with some masking tape or washi tape, and I'm sealing the mouth to protect it from the paint job. Yes, I could paint the mouth myself, but honestly the Rebor mouths are just so beautifully painted. I don't think I could do better when those teeth are transparent and just, I don't know, just beautiful job. I want to protect it. Now time to base coat and see if all my seam filling worked. Now that we're base coated, time for a Josonia creamy yellow to start off with the colours. So this guy I wasn't really using too many references with because I wanted to come up with the stripes and patterns myself, and Oprah Renly requested I add purple to his Utah. So I had a few ideas in my head when I was cycling through different Utah references, and then I came up with my own design. Now I'm coming in with a more yellowy Josonia. Now time for the purple effects. So I'm trying to be very careful with adding the purple. I don't want to add too much because then it won't look quite natural. So I've only done a little bit of it. And now I'm coming in with some black to start adding the stripes in. Don't worry, they won't remain black because I want them to look natural as well, but I'm starting off with black as the base for the stripes. It's very important to keep the stripes even and equal to each other, or matching each other on the face, because if they're different on each side of the face, it will be really, really noticeable. Not so bad on the body, but on the face it's important to try and make a match. So while I'm painting stripes, I'll take this time to say what Oprah Renly plans to do for his part in this collaboration. So we're actually doing a gameplay video together, and he's going to actually teach me to fight as a Dilo. So this is actually going to be exciting. So if you want to see that video, please go follow his channel. Once we get time, we'll play the game together and record the video. But yes, it'll be interesting to learn how to fight as a Dilo, because he's actually a really good fighter, Oprah Renly. He's really, really good at fighting with the Dilo in particular. So it'll be fun to learn to fight, considering I am really shocking at it. I'm lucky if I even survive to adulthood in the Isles. So good luck to Oprah teaching me, but we'll see. I'm quite happy with how the stripes look on the head. So now I'm coming in with a bit of a darker purple, and I'm just darkening up some of the areas to add a two-tone to the purple. Sort of brings the purple more to life. Now I'm coming in with a brown, and I'm dry brushing it over the black. This is what I meant by the black not staying black. This will make it look more natural in the end. Now to start the eyes with a nice yellow from Citadel. Now to remove the washi tape. Looks so good with the mouth now. So I'm doing 3 coats of Mr. Super Clear, and now I'll be coming in with a wash. A brown wash to bring out all the scales and shadows. Now to do my Liquitex gloss varnish over the eyes and in the mouth, and on the claws as well. Now I'm using my UV resin to glue the raptor to the shant. I'm using some different items to prop up the Utah while I glue him down, essentially. And I'm letting the UV resin dribble a bit too to give a 3D effect to the blood later on. Because I do want the wounds to look a bit weepy. Now this is my blood effect from Citadel, so it's a technical paint that looks like blood effects, and I'm using this very liberally over the wounds and over the Utah's face and claws, and a little bit on the ground below too. This is a really beautiful blood effect. It's hard to describe, but it looks transparent in some places and it looks gluggy and coagulated in other places. It's a really beautiful technical paint. Highly recommend. And that's the Utah vs. Shant, the fight sculpture for Oprah Renly. please go check out his channel and look to our video where he teaches me how to fight as a dilo. Well, attempts to teach me. I'm probably gonna die, so good luck to him. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see yous all in the next one. Bye!